So, you want to become an AI engineer, but where do you even start? It can feel pretty overwhelming, right? Well, that's exactly why we're here today. We're going to lay out your definitive 2025 roadmap. This is a clear, step-by-step guide to take you from the absolute fundamentals all the way to becoming a real expert in the field.
Let's just start with a fact that's impossible to ignore. AI is changing everything. We're not talking about some far-off future. We're talking about right now. From healthcare to finance, it is the engine behind so much of what's new and exciting. And what that means is that the people who can build and run that engine, AI engineers, are more in demand than ever before. And that's exactly where you come in.
All right, so here's our game plan for today, broken down into 4 big parts. First, we're going to start with laying the groundwork. Then we'll dive into mastering the core craft. From there, we'll talk about how to take your skills and build a killer profile. And finally, we'll cover the mindset you need for the long haul, something we're calling the never-ending quest. Let's get to it.
Okay, section 1, laying the groundwork. You wouldn't build a giant skyscraper on a weak foundation, would you? Of course not. A career in AI is exactly the same. It needs a foundation that is absolutely unshakable. These first steps are all about building that solid base. Your foundation really rests on 3 main pillars. First up, math. And don't let that intimidate you. Linear algebra is just how models see data. Probability helps them work with uncertainty, and calculus is how they learn and get better over time. Second, programming. Python is the undisputed king of AI. You'll want to get really comfortable with libraries like NumPy and Pandas. They do all the heavy lifting. And Git and GitHub? Totally non-negotiable for tracking your work and working with others. Finally, your computer science fundamentals. Data structures and algorithms are how you write efficient code, and understanding databases and APIs is how your models will actually connect to the real world. This right here is your base camp. On to section 2, mastering the core craft. Okay, your foundation is solid. Now it's time to go from those general skills and start building the really specialized AI expertise. And the path forward from here has a pretty natural flow. We'll start with the broad world of machine learning. Then we'll dive into its most powerful subfield, deep learning. Once you have a grip on those techniques, you'll be all set to pick a specialization that really gets you excited. So to really master machine learning, you've got to get the core ideas down. You need to know the difference between supervised learning when you have labeled data and unsupervised learning when you're looking for hidden patterns. You've got to know if you're predicting a number, which is regression, or picking a category, which is classification. And this is a big one. You have to learn to spot problems like overfitting, where your model just memorizes the training data instead of actually learning from it. Honestly, the best way to get this stuff? Get your hands dirty. Use a library like scikit-learn and just start building. That's when it all starts to click. Next up is deep learning. Now, if machine learning is like building a really solid, reliable car, then deep learning is like strapping a jet engine to it. We're talking about using these huge, multi-layered neural networks that can find incredibly subtle patterns in data. These are the kinds of patterns that power everything from self-driving cars to the generative AI that's making headlines. This is really the heart of the modern AI revolution. And here's the toolbox you'll use to build that jet engine. You're going to be working in frameworks like TensorFlow or PyTorch. Then you'll master different types of models for different jobs. CNNs are your go-to for anything involving images. RNNs are brilliant for sequential data like text or time series information. And then there are transformers. These are the absolute game changers, the core architecture behind the large language models like GPT that everyone is talking about today. And this is where you get to choose your own adventure. You get to take all these powerful skills and point them toward a specialty that you find genuinely cool. If you're fascinated by how machines see and interpret the visual world, you'll love computer vision. If language is your thing, you'll dive into NLP. If you want to build AIs that learn through trial and error, that's reinforcement learning. And if you want to create brand new images, text, or music from scratch, well, welcome to the wild world of generative AI. All right, section 3, from projects to profile. You've got the skills, you've got a specialty. Fantastic. But now you have to prove it. This part is all about turning that knowledge into real, tangible projects that will build your career. See, a professional AI engineer doesn't just build a model and call it a day. They ship it. They put it into production. And that means mastering the tools of the trade. You'll need MLOps platforms to manage your model's lifecycle. You'll use cloud services like AWS SageMaker to train at a massive scale. You'll use Docker and Kubernetes to package your models so it can run absolutely anywhere. And you'll spend a lot of time on hubs like Hugging Face, finding amazing pre-trained models and sharing your own. The best way to master those tools is to build things. Pick something that sounds cool, whether it's an AI-powered recommendation system or a chatbot using the GPT API. But now, listen up, because this is crucial. The project itself is only half the work. A clean, well-documented project on your GitHub profile explaining what you did and why is the single most powerful thing you can have when you're looking for a job.
Beyond your projects, you've got to build a professional profile to get noticed. Create a simple personal website to act as your home base. Keep that LinkedIn profile sharp and updated. That's where recruiters are hanging out. Participating in Kaggle competitions is a fantastic way to prove you can handle real-world problems. And if you really want to stand out, contribute to an open-source AI project. It's the ultimate proof that you can collaborate on a real code base, and that's a huge signal to employers.
And that brings us to our final section, the never-ending quest. And look, this isn't really a final step to check off a list. It's a mindset. In a field that moves this fast, your entire career is going to be defined by your commitment to always be learning.
So how do you stay ahead when the whole field seems to change every 6 months? You cultivate good habits. You start reading the research papers on sites like Archive to see what's coming around the corner. You follow the big trends, like what's happening with large language models and multimodal AI. You have to understand the ethics and regulations shaping the industry. And maybe most importantly, you just never stop building. You never stop experimenting. That curiosity is your greatest long-term asset, for sure. So ultimately, just remember this. AI is the future, and you can absolutely be a part of it. Learning these skills isn't just about getting a new job. It's about putting yourself at the very center of innovation. It's your chance to be one of the people actually building tomorrow. So there you have it, a complete step-by-step roadmap to becoming an AI engineer. The path is clear,